Hey guys, it's Jennifer from Live, Laugh, Love to Read. So today I'm doing a book review on Refined by Tracie Breaux, Breaux. So I'm giving this book 4 stars. It was pretty good. It's a memoir. I think I got it. I don't know. I don't remember if it was on Kindle Unlimited or if it was from the library, or I can't remember. But anyway, 4 stars. It was pretty good. Let me read a synopsis. Then we're going to talk about it. It says Tracie was 15 when she ran away from an abusive father. At the end of her first day of freedom, she was running from 2 men with a rope. Blazing through the forest, she felt the papers in her shoes she had spent years scribbling her hopes and dreams on. Since the age of 8, she had written down her dreams, trusting the words would rewrite her future. Every day after school, she sprinted, shoes full of hope, to the local oil refinery, gawking through fence fabric at the flickering lights as though they were beacons of promise. Her father was distrustful of other men, so public life was limited for Tracie. The windows inside the home were tacked with trash bags to block out any view of her mother. I lost my train. I lost my where I was reading, guys. Violence permeated inside the home. Accusations were made daily. When Tracie was old enough, she grabbed a bag and left. That night, 2 men watched her make camp in a forest and tried to capture her, but she escaped. The 2 men chasing her frightened her so much she scrambled into a school the next morning for help. Tracie was placed in foster care with a loving family. The words in her shoes were coming to life. As an adult, she questioned her father's violent nature, so she sent off a tube of bubbling saliva to a DNA test site, hoping for answers. She was connected to dozens of relatives she never knew existed, grilling them for answers. She ended up going down a hole as deep and winding as a rabbit's warren. She discovered many twists, including the murder of her great-grandfather. Now, the synopsis makes you think that the book is all about that, but it's not. It's actually about Tracie growing up with her father, who has personality something disorder. Basically, he's very paranoid. He thinks everybody is looking at his wife, and he thinks that she's cheating on him, and he's got this paranoia that the men are going to come and get her and take her because she's been screwing all of them. And yeah, he's very violent to his wife and his children, beats them up all the time, and they live in this state of fear all the time, because he's got the kids convinced that there's men trying to take their mom, but in his mind it's men trying to take her for sex, and she's letting them and all this. And so he makes them put up trash bags and foil on the windows and all this. And this is a true story. This is a memoir. So, Refined is a testament to the strength of young women, a heartbreaking coming-of-age story, and a surprising twist of DNA patterns handed down systematically from generation to generation. So, it says, with words that are rich with life, Breaux has created a story that reminds us that we are forever shaped by our ancestors. See, that doesn't even tell what the story is about, really. It doesn't really tell anything about DNA and all that until the end. Yeah, that's kind of weird to me. Now that I've read this and now I'm reading that again, I'm like, what? Because the story is about her growing up with her violent father, paranoid father, and her mother, who stays and buys into the whole farce of it and lets him do basically whatever he wants. And yeah, crazy. But at one point, he starts realizing that his daughter, who's like 11 or 12, is starting to develop. And also, he's a pedophile. He was having sex with the neighbor girl who was like 13. And she was convinced that he loved her and that they were going to run off together and all this. Yeah. So he starts trying to molest Tracie in the middle of the night. But she's on to him, so she starts putting on layers and layers of clothes before she goes to bed, and then she puts like 4 quilts on the bed and all that so that he can't get to her. And yeah. And she realizes that her mother probably knows what's going on. And it's just a crazy story of her childhood of abuse and her father, who's just absolutely off his rocker. I mean, yeah. Then she goes into foster care, and then that's a whole another story. Anyway, this was pretty good. I'm giving it 4 stars. If you like that kind of book, you might like it. I like memoirs most of the time. Depends on the book. But this was pretty good until the very end. And then it did kind of go off the rails for me. Talked a little bit about the DNA thing where she did the DNA test and all that. And but yeah, she does spend time in a mental hospital for adults, and she is a child. She's like 12 or 13 when it happens. She goes into foster care. Well, then she gets dropped off at the mental hospital and is left there for like 5 or 6 months because there's nowhere for her to go. They don't have a home for her, and they try to get a hold of the social worker and can't get a hold of her. And anyway, yeah, she's there for like 5 or 6 months. It's very strange. But what's even stranger is this is a true story. Anyway, I'm giving it 4 stars. And that's all I got, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to chat back for more book videos coming up soon. Thanks, friends. I'll see you next time.